It's not even up to a month that Simon Ekpa, the former Prime Minister of Biafra land, was arrested in Finland and is being charged to court, but still in detention as we speak. It is now looking as if the new Prime Minister of Biafra, the woman, is now towing the same line that Simon Ekpa told, and reports has it that she will be charged for mass murder in the US. Before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button, like this video, leave your opinions in the comment section below as well. Exclusive, new Biafra leader Ngozi Orabueze to be charged for mass murder in the United States. There is strong indication that the new Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, could be charged for mass murder in the United States following the killing of innocent civilians in Southeast under the guises of Biafra agitation. Dr. Orabueze and Chief of Staff to Simon Ekpa, the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, toppled his principal barely a month after he was thrown into prison for terror-related activities by the Finnish government. Newsroom Nigeria reported that Ekpa, the gang leader of the Autopilot, a breakaway faction of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, was taken into custody in November alongside 4 others suspected to be his financiers. Moreover, Ngozi, after taking over the baton of leadership from Ekpa, has continued to incite and fuel insecurity in the Southeast region. Recently, she was seen in a video footage threatening to kill everybody in the Southeast region wearing police, army, immigration, and civil defense uniform. Despite repeated calls and appeals from political stakeholders and leaders of thought in the troubled region, urging Orabueze and their bandwagons to desist from their violent Biafra campaigns and their blatant refusal to heed to wise counsel, IPOB political wing has formally lodged a petition to the United States Department of Justice against Dr. Orabueze. The damning petition, which was cited by this paper, called on the United States Department of Justice to immediately arrest and charge Dr. Orabueze, a practicing nurse in the United States, with mass murder. IPOB political wing in the petition argue that Ngozi's war utterances and actions have resulted in the death of civilians, security operatives, obstructed education, and destroyed businesses in the southeast of Nigeria. However, speaking exclusively with Newsband on the petition, Nwachukwu Omeroye, the spokesman of IPOB, said the group is taking steps which they deem proactive to ensure all forms of insecurity and terror are eradicated in the Southeast. Nwachukwu confirmed that the group wrote a petition to the United States Department of Justice against Orabueze. According to him, IPOB political wing categorically stated in the petition that incitement from the implicated figure is costing the region peace. The image maker of IPOB PW added that they believe U.S. Department of Justice will act upon their petition and bring those inciting others to kill and destabilize Igbo land to justice. He said, in order to ensure that peace is restored in Ala Igbo, we are making the necessary step, which we deem proactive, to ensure all forms of insecurity and terror are eradicated. We plan to restore political pathway and believe where through the ballot box we can peacefully aspire and make the change our people yearn for. We have seen killings and all forms of terrorist activities in our land. We have resolved to end it, and we have started with the actors. We have written a letter to the United States Department of Justice against Orabueze, who has taken over from Simon Ekpa. We have clearly stated in the letter that incitement from the implicated figure is costing us peace and law. We need to stop all forms of incitement. We want Biafra, but not through shedding innocent blood and killings. We don't want it anymore. We are civilized and we hope to go through this with common sense. We wish the U.S. Department of Justice will act upon our letter and bring those inciting others to kill and destabilize our land to justice. You all, what are your thoughts? Let's have them in the comments section below. I personally think that this new IPOB faction, it seems like they are more logical, they are more reasonable. And I think they are like that because these are homegrown, these are home based. They know what is happening in Igbo land, in the southeastern part of the country. They know the kind of suffering that their people are facing due to incitement coming from outside the country. I feel like it is easier for people who are not living in Nigeria, for Nigerians who are abroad, Igbos, to incite and say, kill this, kill that, do this, do all of that, because they would not see the actual consequences. They're outside the country. They will not be there when everywhere will scatter and soldiers will retaliate and start killing, Igbos. Because of course they are going to retaliate. They would not be there when all of that happens. And I think that I side with this new faction because they are more logical. They are after, the protection of lives of their own people. Not that, you want everywhere to scatter. Is that how to gain freedom? Is that how to gain your own independence? There are ways to do things. You don't just say you want to burn, you want to scatter, you want to... What about the aftermath? You don't think about that, Abby? Okay. Moving on, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Andy James says, the most surprising thing is that the FG is fighting Ekpa in Finland and Dr. Ngozi from the US for the killing in the southeast, but close their eyes against all kind of killers sects, their sponsors and negotiators in the northern regions. Am I forced to believe, or may I believe in the zoo thing? Doesn't all the precious bloodshed and the thousands of lives wasted in the north valuable or worth fighting for? All the sponsors, negotiators, and repentance, ISWAP, etc. worth prosecution? Richard says, nothing like the political wing of IPOB. All these write-ups are trash. Even if the lady is less than a month or thereabouts on the throne, if as such and has committed mass murder. Now what? Joseph says, you all talking nonsense. Nigerian army and their terrorist mercenaries are the ones killing Biafran youth. Kenneth Onyebuchi says, oh, has it gotten to this with IPOB? This IPOB is no longer fighting for Biafran independence. It is time for Biafrans to see them as enemies. Orabueze says, we have separatist organizations in Yoruba land, but since Tinubu became president, no one talks about them. You all, what are your thoughts and opinions? Also, one other thing is the fact that I think that, this Biafra, they are now having so many sects. One sect will crop up today, another sect will crop up tomorrow. And by the way, the woman is she even up to 1 month in office. And, talking about the video that was referred to in this article about her calling for the murder and all of those things. Anyway, I've not seen the video, so we cannot tell if that is actually true. You all, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done that. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.